Hello, Joel Tilson. As many of you know, Joel Tilson is the official floor director for the show. If you're frustrated or you feel like you need to be heard, be sure and ask Joel to get my attention, and he will make sure I see the question. You know, I just feel like this whole thing about Ghislaine's talking, then talk already. Why does it have to be some big thing with the FBI? The FBI knows everybody that was on the plane already. He was an informant for the intelligence agencies. He used to get together with Bill Clinton at the White House. I mean, do we really have to have a long, drawn out FBI? Come on, it's all BS. They're protecting judges. They're protecting politicians. We all know it, and it's disgusting. So I feel like if she has the names, if she wants to do the right thing, and clearly she doesn't because she's a pedophile and a creep, just like her ex-boyfriend. So I just think it's all BS. Hello, Sue. Good to see you. Sue Malik in the house. Joel Tilson writes that the enforcer is reporting about shootings throughout Tehran and Iran with violent demonstrations with clashes with the police. Yeah, Iran is going to fall. That's inevitable because it's just part of the natural stages of the war. We are at war with Iran. We are at war with Russia, and it's either them or us. It's not going to get better. Every time we try to do a deal it's very naive to think that we can do a deal with them because they want to destroy the West. So it's only the only thing we're doing is giving them chance to rearm and reload. So we should just finish the job. And I think we understand that. I would not believe publicly when they come out and say, yeah, we're going to stop for now. I think everything is planned. I think it's been planned for years. And yeah. Okay. Khomeini. Yeah, he came out of hiding and gave a speech. Evidently, he's in poor health. He's 89 years old. I think they want to capture him. That's the problem. You kill him, you create a martyr, or you replace him with people who are just as crazy as he is. He's picked 3 successors. So yes, there's some. The other thing that's coming up that Joel is talking about is that she and his wife are under arrest in China, which is why they didn't show up at a summit in South America. It's very possible his own father was had to serve time. He was charged by the Communist Party in, I think it was 1950s, 60s. Yeah, so they have a way of turning on their own leaders. So we can definitely look at Xi today. Yeah, this is interesting. I think that they really believe that they're going to cut cost and try and work out a deal with Putin, which of course is impossible. The data shows he's the most dangerous man on earth. We have no choice. We have to take him out. Hi, Tabby Cat. Hello. Hi, beautiful Sybil. Good to see you here. Happy brunch to all. Happy brunch to all, and to all a good night. Yes, thank you. I don't know if everyone knows that we have a Book of the Month club, In Search of the Sun. In Search of the Sun. It's been written by the amazing Lisa Lowitz. We will be having Lisa in our studios July 16th. That's Tuesday, July 16th on Taco Tuesdays at 6 p.m. with Chuck Dransfield, and we look forward to speaking with her about her book. It's a book about finding yourself, your spiritual evolution, and it takes you on a journey of Japan and a woman's life, everything from falling in love to having a family, finding family, etc. And the way that she developed it is she organizes the spiritual development in terms of chakras, and I thought that was really cool when I saw that. So I was very excited to include Lisa Lowett's book in our Book of the Month Club. So thank you, Lisa, for that. All right, let's keep going, saying hi to everybody. We have Tarot Task Backwards. Does Elon have someone in mind to be president if his new party goes off the ground, or will it be he? It's not going to be he, because he'd rather order somebody else around. He would probably fund, he might want to, is his name Yang? He would pick a libertarian. And he would probably pick somebody that is popular. I think Yang would be a good idea, because he agrees with a lot of Yangs, or he used to anyway. Oh, GOP Congress rep resigned today. Does he see the demise? Very good question. We can definitely get into that. All right. So the fact that it looked like things were getting very hot in the world, particularly in August, we had some interesting cards. We had some interesting remote views. It's interesting. Lately, I've been feeling that they are going to take out Ali Khamenei, that he will be assassinated if they can't capture him. But I know that they don't want to do that because of the potential. I also think they're not telling the truth about regime change. I think they are planning a regime change. I'm really disappointed by what's going on in Ukraine, as I'm sure many of you are. The hits that took place in Kyiv. And again, it's a violation of what we know has to happen based on the science. So it's really scary when you see a government that's deviating from the data. Would you agree? So like if the data says Putin is the most dangerous person in the world, then you would think that the end result of that would be that we would do everything in our power to remove such a threat. And the reason why Putin was considered the most dangerous man in the world based on just hard data was because he had access to nuclear weapons, or he could create a dirty bomb by bombing the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the fact that he was threatening Western Europe, the fact that there was nobody stopping him. What makes him dangerous is that there's no stopgap, right? Same with North Korea. But Putin is even more dangerous because of the amount of arsenal he has. And in fact, his actions have cost the lives of over 1 million Russians and tens of thousands of Ukrainians as well. And he's now threatening Azerbaijan and other former Soviet bloc, where else was he threatening? Chechnya and Georgia and a couple of places. So we can see, based on the data from the supercomputers, from the AI research, that if you don't want people to die, this is what negotiators need to focus on. Getting to ceasefire. This week they're talking about getting a ceasefire with Hamas, exchange of hostages with Hamas for the hostages. They're then taken in by a host country, and the people of Gaza can build their government without, fear that they're going to be invaded by a proxy army from Iran. And then the fourth phase, once we see that, we should be seeing the isolation of Putin, and Putin needs to be removed. So the biggest threat is, is Putin. He's even more important than Iranian leadership. I mean, Iran was firing on Israel 500 ballistic missiles, but the numbers are not as great as what we're just Ukraine alone. So Putin is really I've looked at this multiple times, and you can go in and say, who is the most dangerous man, Xi, Putin, etc. And usually, I haven't seen the computer say anything other than Putin, because of who Putin is. And of course, as much as we've tried to make a deal with Russia and Iran for normal relations, the only thing they did as a result of that was use their money to build up proxy armies, fund the Houthis, and Hezbollah in Lebanon and Syria and Hamas in Gaza, which has made life hell for the people of Gaza. So as a result, past performance, you got to look at people's past performance. They have no interest in making peace with the West. They want to dominate the West and destroy the West and dismantle the West. And being nice to them and giving them more money or giving them a house next door is not a rational way to deal with an enemy that wants to annihilate you. And so the regimes have to be dismantled. There simply is no other way to peace if we want to avoid World War III. And if we're looking at a doomsday clock being, a couple minutes to midnight, we pushed the doomsday clock back when we bombed Iran, but Iran is vowing to rebuild it. So again, somebody is trying to kill you and you shoot them in the toe. The only thing that's going to do is make them mad and more determined than ever to take you out. So it is really, the data simply doesn't show another option. And I know a lot of people don't want to go to war, but it's either that or we ourselves could be in a very bad situation. Simply, trust me, I don't want to go to war either, but that's basically what the remote view showed, and that is what the data showed. All right, we're going to go back to the top and get to all these questions that have been nicely arranged by Joel. Thank you, Joel. So who here is not holding out much hope for Ghislaine Maxwell? No? Not believing it? I don't believe it either. She's such a horrible person. She complained about the manners and the behavior of the street kids who had been abused in childhood. Oh, they don't know how to use neither would you if you were a foster kid. Oh, they're such scummy little people. So you decided to rape them? I mean, this is really the best example of an aristocrat. If you truly believe that the other is not human or less human than you, this is really the anatomy of evil, according to Hannah Arendt. Is the first thing you must do is you must reduce their humanity. You have to say that they're a pig or they're swine, etc., etc. And at that point, you don't see them as a person, you see them as an animal, or etc. And then it's easier to kill them, torture them, because they're not human like I'm a human. And this is what you see in Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, we're not as special as she is. Yeah, we're not one of life's special people. The special people are entitled to more rights than you and I because they're superior. Like Prince Andrew, he's superior. That's why he's not imprisoned on multiple counts of pedophilia. He's sitting in Buckingham Palace instead, right? Because he's superior and you're inferior, right? Ghislaine, walking away, she lost everything. 8 of Cups. She really thought it was silly and ridiculous. She thought that this whole entire thing was silly and ridiculous, that people are clueless about those girls, and we treated them better than their own parents did. This is a real denial. And instead, she may see herself as a victim. I lost everything, and I cooperated with the feds, and I still lost everything. So she may still hold on to this idea that she is the victim. She is somebody who lost everything, and her opposition, the King of Wands, right? So she has this war king going after her. There are people, there's a new kid in town. There's a new kid that wants her prosecuted. So the old ways are gone. So maybe In the past, they were VIP and they were, you know, laughing and having orgies with politicians and filming everything and blackmailing everybody. But now there's this new guy on the block and he wants them prosecuted. So the rules have changed. Six of Cups, she may want a treaty or a deal. She thinks that she's going to get off and then be able to go back to Britain or Europe or France or wherever. So it's this, I give you information, Six of Cups, and then you let me go. That she could be extradited or, come on, I'm an aristocrat. I don't belong here with these peasants. Please. Oh, I'll give you a little something, even though you were in on it the whole time, right? So her cooperation is coming with this idea for possibly an international to be extradited somewhere. She will expose. She is going to expose people. That's true. Over the issue of her trying, she has hidden money, Two of Pentacles. She may have put money in offshore. She's got money and she's hiding it. Probably crypto, offshore accounts, Panama. She probably knows where some of Epstein's money is. But this is somebody who's got money, and it may not be. She may not be totally transparent with the feds. Yeah, they want further charges against her. So from their perspective, well, you could cooperate, and then I'll be released. No, you won't be charged with more crimes, because they're building up more cases: espionage, spying on the United States, money laundering. They're building more cases against her because this is the courts coming in. We want to get you some more. So it's this back and forth. Well, I'll tell you all the debt, and then you're going to, after a couple of years, you're going to send me back to Paris. I've got a villa in Paris to get to, right? Whereas they're saying, you either tell us everything or we're going to charge you with more crimes. So yeah. She also is having a health crash coming. She's got the tower there. But what's interesting is the sun is over the tower. You know what? I'm more inclined to believe that it's an expose that causes a mass explosion. This could be that they decide, well, it's time to take out Trump, so we'll just release the bombshell, because the sun is over her, which can often be an expose, and then the tower. So it could just be that the world rocks when she starts openly talking about things, which we all know anyway. We all know that Trump went to these parties and even helped arrange them because he's a sick puppy, right? But this looks possibly like an exposure happens, and it's going to be a bombshell. And this could be what takes down the aristocrats in the United States. Thank you. All right. Enforcer is reporting shootings throughout Tehran and Iran, with violent demonstrations clashing with police. Let's take a look, because they say Iranians are not revolutionary by nature. They tend to not want to fight because they've been indoctrinated to comply for so long. So getting them out into the street is a big deal. Tehran right now is that which was hidden will be revealed. I also see the rising of women in Tehran. You know, it's the mystical woman. It's the exposure, the opposition, the devil, right? A cult. The devil can be a cult or an addiction or codependency to it's increasingly seen as toxic. It's increasingly seen as foreign to the people. Hopes and fears, taking the weapons of war away from the enemy, and strife with the devil. I think it's pretty obvious what that's about. And the people being chained, or a feeling. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. People may feel that it's getting worse rather than better. Right now, it looks like the devil is winning. Khomeini is winning. Temperance. There could be a new contract. You know what's interesting? It could be that they keep the Khomeini position in power, but a new law goes into effect which dramatically reduces his powers in the new Iran. So instead of outright killing him, they strip him of his powers, and then he becomes more like a token figure. This is the only way that this system would be able to survive in Iran. Yeah, is that they will have to modify the position no longer as a leader, but just as a spiritual leader. It's disappointing to see that, because I really want to see the fall of Khamenei as soon as possible. Is he still in hiding? Let's take a look at his future. He came out of hiding to give a speech. I don't know. Let's take a look. Thank you, Joel, for arranging the questions. Very helpful today. Oops. Khomeini, he is in jail. Yes, he is still in semi-hiding. He doesn't trust the people that are protecting him. His opposition is growing. You can see the Eight of Wands, which is the strife card. It's also associated with August. As he becomes increasingly isolated, you can see his opposition is rising right around the time of August, strife in August. His position in the world, the fact that the world did not come to help him is also pretty telling. And then the final outcome is heartbreak for him. You know, this is a guy who feels betrayed or heartbroken because his allies did not come and rescue him, the weapons of war. You know what? They really want to arrest him. You can see this Five of Wands here, and this is like prison. And this new partnerships in the opposition. So recognizing the opposition, he may attempt to flee. Look at this, fleeing like a thief. The world. He may attempt to be smuggled out. They may attempt to smuggle him out, possibly through Afghanistan, or, well, that would make sense. He can get out through Afghanistan, Pakistan, and then attempt to get to either Russia or China. But you can see there's an attempt. He thinks he has to flee. And then the final outcome is 10 of Cups. You know what? He could attempt to take his family out of Iran. Yeah, I think he's going to try and take a run for it. I think his intelligence is telling him that there's no way the Israelis are going to stop. You know, it's in the Talmud. When somebody comes to kill you, you kill them first. You don't shoot them in the foot, because the only thing that happens is that they recover, and then the next time they're going to succeed. If a person is hell-bent on killing you, they've got the bomb, take them out. If you can't lay hands on them and arrest them and charge them, you just have to take them out. He knows it. This guy is going to attempt to escape. You can see here, escaped world, goes somewhere else with his family. He's heartbroken. He feels betrayed, like he was cheated on by his own people. Like, why didn't my allies come to defend me? You can see also, he already feels that he's in jail. His opposition is getting organized globally, and you can see this raw strife. I would be very surprised, because of this, if he didn't attempt to smuggle himself out of the country. Because let's look at what happened to Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein when they stuck around, right? They ended up getting caught. So he may feel that his only way to make sure that doesn't happen is to attempt to go underground and escape. I would assume through Pakistan, Afghanistan, into Russia. Crazy cards. There are reports President Xi and wife are under arrest in China. Yes, I think they are. He was under investigation for corruption. We did a remote view on that a while ago. And also links to private accounts with money. So that's what they had him on originally, was possible bribes. But let's take a look at the future of Xi and his wife. Evidently, they were going to attempt to escape. Boy, goodbye, Xi. Tyrants fall. He started off very hopeful, you know. People had a good feeling about him. He was educated. He went to Iowa State. You know, he was educated in the United States. People were very optimistic, but you know, look what happened. Xi and his wife, what is their future? War, violence, arrest. It is not going well for Xi. Very bad omen for Xi. This could be war. It's like police raid or something like that. He's devastated. He's been betrayed. If they found $30 million in his bank account because he was doing business with the CIA or something like that, he's going down. This is what they accused the Dalai Lama of, that he had $1 million that was transferred from the CIA, and then it came out that it was true. And I spoke to one of his followers. How do you feel about the fact that he took $1 million from the CIA? And his follower said, well, they finally gave the money to the right person to maintain him in exile, etc. So they were supporting his movement. But hopes and fears, sober times for Xi. And the final outcome for Xi is he will be disarmed, 5 of Swords. So he will no longer be the president of China. Is he the president or the prime minister? I think he's the president. So he's finished. You can see taking the weapons of war. He was betrayed. You know, it's they turned on him, and I think a lot of it had to do with you know, they're using the corruption line, but the truth of the matter is, I think it had to do with the fact that they were close to war, and the fact that he didn't handle certain things, the economy, what was going on with COVID, etc., and a lot of that stuff he got blamed for. All right, we're looking now at Hegseth and his relationship with Ukraine. Hegseth and his relationship with Ukraine. What is going on with Ukraine? Is Zelensky going to survive, or are we going to see the collapse of Ukraine? This has gone on a long time, people. Ukraine, right now, war. There's war over Ukraine. The opposition. Secrets, the family. You know, he's got possibly people that are pro. They just got rid of the head of the Ukrainian church for being an ally of Russia. So could be that the family is the betrayer. So they could be seeing families torn apart. Some of them are pro-Russian in Crimea, some are not. So you can see that the enemy is from within to some extent. The hope and fear for Ukraine, Putin. Putin's a Gemini? Air sign? Oh, Libra? Aquarius? Probably a Libra. They have a warped sense of justice, but air sign male. And then the final outcome for Ukraine is the star of Ukraine. The star is over Ukraine. I was wondering what the star was, if it was a country with a star. Evidently, they're saying the star is Ukraine. And on God, we're seeing a rallying of Ukraine. Russia is dismantled. Putin is broke, 2 of Pentacles, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And the final outcome, Ukraine wins and is victorious within 6 months. 6 of Wands, victory. Ukraine wins. Well, that was pretty gosh darn simple to read. I do believe, yes. Hi, throwback ass word. task backwards. Does Elon have someone in mind to be president? What's his name? Yang? I think Yang is somebody we all actually would. Some of us would vote for Yang. I don't know if I would, but if you're a libertarian that wants an ethical libertarian, you might go with Yang. What's Yang's first name? Let's take a look. Who is Elon going to pick? It'd have to be somebody that he could control, and that would be difficult with somebody like Yang. Six of Pentacles. This is something that surprised me about Elon, was that he wants people to have a guaranteed wages of like a couple thousand a month for basic needs, rent, etc. So he, despite the fact that Doge was going in and cutting things, he believes in a mandatory salary, just like Yang. So it's a little confusing why, from the profits. So say, for example, we sell $1 trillion in business. The money is going back to the companies and to the United States, but we also have a right to a portion of the sale as Americans. So we get a portion of the sale for the people. So that's actually optimistic. The opposition is King of Wands again. You can see the cards keep repeating themselves and saying that there is a man, possibly a fire sign, that will rise up and is going to, what sign is Buddha Judge? I don't know who this guy is, but you guys see the cards. Every damn time I throw, this guy shows up. I have no idea who it is. Buddha Judge, he's got that thing with his marriage where he's, he doesn't want to be president. He doesn't want to run. It's too hard on his family, which I totally get. I'd feel the same way if I was him. Did I forget to put lipstick on? Yeah, I did. That's weird. And the hopes and the fears? Constriction. It's because Elon himself felt constricted. They got rid of some of his programs. So he himself is being phased out of the government. Final outcome for him is grief. I think he's going to have a real hard time starting this America First. He wants to fund somebody. He's going to be met with tremendous, I don't think he's going to do well here. I think he needs to get back to just being a businessman and get out of politics, because not only is he not going to succeed, but he could wind up with the authorities going after him. He's got that emperor right over him, and that is not auspicious. You don't want the president giving you grief. Also, he's got this death and 8 of Swords. So I don't know. I don't think this is good at all. Election fraud. Well, isn't it obvious at this point? Haven't they done data collection proving it's scientifically impossible? What happened? I think it's pretty horrible if it's true. Election fraud, Elon, confusion. I see a lot of confusion over Elon. He doesn't know what he's doing. His obstacle, death and transformation, hopes and fears, his business. Queen of Pentacles is one's business. And then the final outcome is he has a health crisis. Archangel Raphael comes to him. I worry about him having an addiction, heroin or fentanyl or something like that, opioids, right? Because as painkillers. So that is what we see there. Well, my sister and I are going to lunch. We have not seen each other for, Andy Bashir. Sagittarius, interesting. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody is coming. And oh, is he a Capricorn? That he always presents as the Knight of Pentacles, so that doesn't surprise me. America hates a bot president. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that a lot's going to be happening because you're seeing that he's tearing apart the Republican Party. So, oh, on Newsom, Gloria. That's great. Oh, he's on the cusp with Aquarius. Nice. Yeah, he always comes as the Knight of Pentacles, so I'd be surprised to see him as anything else. All right, you guys, I have to go because my sister's going to be in 15 minutes and I got to get ready. Did you guys have, man, that went fast. That was an hour and 15 minutes. I feel like I just sat down and boom, it's over. All right, if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, I will be back at work tomorrow. So if you'd like to make an appointment, just be sure and check out all the information below. You can book me through Booksy. If you need a quick taped reading, you can get it through Wizio. I think that's all I have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. I will see you all next time. Thank you, guys. Much love. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.